Today's topic is just as bad as the other ones that I covered so far. I promise I'm going to make other videos as well, but this is something that's been going. I don't know if the proper term is viral, but a lot of people have covered that. And I just wanted to analyze with you how a person who, well, I don't even know how to see it, how a pedophile thinks.
This one's going to be triggering for people. There's something about my path, my journey, that I'm not necessarily like secretive about. Everyone in my life knows about it.
Everybody in your life knows that you're attracted to people who are not of age and who are very, very little. What are these people doing? What are the people around you doing? Why are you not locked away? And the people around you, knowing what you are, don't find it weird that you're attracted to children?
But I know that like saying it publicly, there's going to be like backlash. And I'm like, that's only because people don't understand.
Yes, people don't understand your attraction to children. Well, a lot of people don't understand serial killers, but does that mean that they are just not understood and it's okay? I know this. Don't let the opening of this video fool you. This person is still a predator, and we will learn that later in the video. From what I hear and see so far, first of all, you're smiling. Second of all, you are sympathy farming. You in your mind know that that's wrong, but you're trying to normalize that thing and you're trying to first give some insight on how it's just not understood by people. The further we go into the video, the crazier it gets. So brace brace yourselves for that one.
And I'm like, well, I can explain from my perspective. Some people are going to get it and some people are not.
The girls get it, and the girls who don't. Something so outrageous, you're saying it so casually, like you're explaining why you like pineapple on pizza, and some people are going to get it and some people are not going to get it. What would possess you to even post this? No, let people like this post stuff like that so we can expose them and get their children and lock them away.
Some people are going to look for reasons to hate.
Yes, because that's the normal reaction to that.
And that's not really necessary. But that's just what people do.
Yeah, it's not necessary to hate people who are potentially thinking about committing crimes.
And it depends on what part of their journey they're at, I suppose.
Do you know how manipulative that sentence is? This person is implying that depends on what part of your journey, your life journey you're at, you're going to either accept or don't accept. And this is implying that this person is ahead in their life journey and that's why it's normal for her, and that the people who don't understand and who are going to hate are not on the same level of their journey as she is, implying that these people have less understanding of life and less life experience, and that's why we're not going to understand that. And that's why we're going to hate, because we don't know as much as she does. I should stop pausing it every second because it is 20 minutes long.
Depends on what they've personally gone through and what wounds they haven't healed yet. And
Wait. I know I said I won't stop it, but depends on what once you haven't healed yet. This person is sick. You're trying to manipulate the viewer to normalize pedophilia. That's so manipulative.
I know that other people's response to things isn't about me. It's about them and what they're going through. So
Oh my god, the smile. That 24-carat smile on your face while you're talking about thinking of children. That smile. I'm sure she imagines in her head that child that she was in love with. I know I am very judgmental, but I have watched the full video, the full 20-minute video. So I know what we're going to get into.
controversial topic. Pedophiles.
What a smile. What a beautiful smile we're talking about. Sexually abusing children. Oh my god, you're so cute.
When you hear that word, if your mind automatically jumps to sex offender, that is not the same thing. And let me just explain what I mean by that. Technically, if you get down to it, we're talking about the meaning of words here. And the definition of a pedophile is someone who has an attraction to children.
Yes, there are people who are attracted to children that are not sex offenders. But at some point of their life, I am sure they're going to offend. Or they have offended, but thought that they had consent.
The thing is that these people, these pedophiles, they can choose, obviously, whether or not they're going to act on the thoughts, desires, and stuff they have, right? So you're a pedophile whether you act on them or not. That's not something that people can really control. If you're attracted to whoever you're attracted to.
Yes, you're attracted to whoever you're attracted to, but let this person be of age of consent. I can't get over the smiling part. I can't. Instead of accepting that this is a part of yourself, go to therapy. Go somewhere that they can help you. Don't just accept it because this is not normal. A normal attraction is, for me at least, is with somebody who is around your age, somebody who you can trust, somebody you can talk to, and somebody who can understand you on the same level, who is on the same mental level of you. So for me, and what I think is normal for everybody, should be that they should be attracted to someone who is on the same mental level as them. That means you can tell your feelings and they can understand clearly your feelings. Also, you can speak with these people on topics that are more serious and more important for you and they can understand.
I think I realized that the definition, I'm pretty sure, I think is just like an exclusive attraction to children, which is not what's going on with me. That's not what's going on with me. I'm attracted to, well, I want to sleep with some dude in his 60s. Like, age isn't a thing for me.
Yeah, age is just a number and prison is just a building. What do you mean? Age is not, it should be. That's the norm. What do you mean? I can't understand how you can be attracted to a body that hasn't been developed yet. You know what I mean? How can you be attracted sexually to somebody who doesn't know what sex is? My brain cannot comprehend how people like this can exist.
When I was 17, I I started doing this childcare course. It was a childcare course. Yeah, when I went to prac, there was this boy in one of the classes that I was in. He was like 4 or 5 or something. But he kept saying that he loved me, and I got I got huge butterflies.
4 or 5 year old boy. And you got butterflies. The child doesn't have an attraction towards you. It doesn't know what that is. Everything is in your head, and you should get that head checked.
I wasn't coping at all with the fact that I was having these feelings. So because I was not coping with that, I kind of stopped going to the daycare for the prac. I needed some time. I needed to process what the fuck was happening in me. But that's the thing, on the last day that I was there, I came in to work so excited to see him. But that day, he called me a poopy head, and I cried so hard. I was so devastated that he was calling me a poopy head. I was so sad. I was like, he doesn't like me anymore.
He's never liked you. This boy has never liked you the way you liked him. And you were so devastated that the boy didn't like you anymore. What were you going to do with that boy? And still, the smile and the crying.
It took me a few years after that before I realized that was a child altar inside me. That was one of my child versions of myself.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Let's see. A child outer. Huh. You said you felt butterflies. First time I felt butterflies was in 7th grade. Maybe some people felt it earlier, but I don't buy it. I really don't buy it. Were you ever diagnosed? I don't know if this person was diagnosed. It's not my place to diagnose them, but I kind of don't buy it. How do you know it was one of your child outers? How did you know that? Did you talk to a mental health professional? Did you tell them what you felt? Did they tell you that that was your child outer? I don't buy it. I feel like that's not true. I feel like that's not okay to say, and I feel like that's really damaging to people who are actually diagnosed with multiple personality disorder. I think that's very damaging for them because I have seen a lot of backlash from them talking about how they've never felt attraction to children despite having that. So I don't buy it. I'm not sure if this person actually has that disorder or they're faking or they think they have it but they actually don't, which can also be true because we shouldn't diagnose ourselves from TikTok. I think this person is in denial. I think this person is trying to justify how they feel, but that's not what you should do. That's not okay.
That was having a crush on this boy.
I don't know about you guys, but my first crush was when I was 12 or 13, not 5. I don't even remember what I was doing when I was 5. I didn't even know what crush was at that age.
It wasn't like adult parts of me, but there's still like this confusion because like my body was 17 at the time. So I'm like, does that mean that there's a 17-year-old in me who feels that way? Where technically a 17-year-old is still a kid, but no, but no, right? It took me a few years to like forgive myself for even having those feelings.
Yes, you should forgive yourself after you go to therapy. You need some serious mental health help to be diagnosed with that. And for your doctor or therapist or whatever the term is, to tell you that was your child out there, you have to tell the mental health professional that you actually felt attraction to a child. And I know that when you work in the mental health industry, you actually have to, if somebody tells you that they want to harm themselves, they want to harm others, they want to commit crimes, they are attracted to children, and all of that, the mental health professional should contact the police. So either this person was diagnosed and the mental health professional didn't do their job, or they diagnosed themselves with this disorder. So something's not adding up. I think this person just diagnosed themselves, and I think they are experiencing some kind of mental health crisis while they're recording this video, but it's not, I don't think it is multiple personality disorder. I think it's something else.
Because now I realize, oh, it was a part of me that was like the same age as him that felt that way.
No matter what age do you think you're mentally, your body isn't. Something's not right. It's that thing that she said about having a child out. There's something here fishy. I don't buy it. Maybe somebody in the comments can prove me wrong or tell what they think is happening. I really want to hear somebody else's opinion on that. Maybe I'm digging too deep. Maybe I'm on the right path or not. I don't know.
And that's not to say, and that is not to say that I think that it's okay for me in an adult body to be, to follow through with anything.
That's a good thing to hear that she thinks like that. But later in the video, the further we go into the video, the crazier it gets.
When I was a kid, I was obviously sexually abused by someone. I know my brother was doing stuff.
I was obviously sexually abused by someone, but you don't remember that. The way she just says it, but she doesn't know by who, and her brother did stuff to her dad did stuff to her grandfather did stuff to her.
When I was 8, but I was doing stuff with my female friends earlier than that, and I'm not sure where I learned it. And there's this stuff about the babysitter that could be a thing.
Now it's the babysitter.
But honestly, if I'm being completely honest, there's been a whole lot of breadcrumbs about it being my dad that was abusing me.
The way you just say it, and I know I have a coping mechanism that I smile when I say something hurtful, but not remembering being your dad, being your everybody around you abused you sexually. Sounds really familiar. That everybody around you is an abuser and you're the victim, and it's actually them and not you. Very much sounds like the previous video I did. I'm not trying to victim blame, but something is not right here. Something's not adding up. Maybe I'm just being insensitive because it is a pedophile, and maybe I'm trying to victim blame, but something here seems odd.
After the childcare course, I tried to do a teacher's aid course.
Of course, it's first childcare, then it's teacher ed. Of course, it's somebody who is always around children. Of course, it's always a teacher. Of course, it's a childcare worker.
And I was normal again. And I was like, okay, we need a job, we need to study. I'm great at communicating with kids. That's because I become a kid a lot of the time. So that's where that comes from. I can see from a child's perspective because I have a child's perspective a lot of the time.
No, you cannot see from a child's perspective. Because if you had a child's perspective, you'll know that you shouldn't have sex with a child. And you'll know that a child doesn't think about sex. You have a predator's perspective.
I did the teacher's aid course and they assigned me to kids around 5 or 6. All of the work was easy and it's fine. But then when I went to go do the prac, I was there for a week or maybe a few days or something, and I didn't get any feelings for anyone. But the memory of that happening kept haunting me, and I kept being afraid that I would develop some feelings.
If you were so scared about your attraction to children, why did you go to the second class after you knew you have this attraction? Why did you decide to endanger children again? Why would you go for a second time being around children? Because you like being around children. You didn't get an attraction to a specific one, but you like being around children. That's why you went for the second time. Even though you were scared that you can endanger a kid, and even though you knew it was wrong, you like the company of children. That's why you went for the second time.
I stopped going to that prac as well, and I failed that course as well, just because of fear that I would feel something. But then I'm like, I see all of this stuff in the news now about like childcare workers doing bad things, and I'm like, how could they do that? Like, when I thought that I was going into a line of work where I might even potentially like traumatize someone.
Yet, you went for the second time. I have no empathy for people like this. I have this raging hatred for people who endanger children. And I'm not a person who even likes being around children. I find them annoying. But I know I someday want to have a child. And even thinking about somebody looking at a child and thinking something sexual makes me so sick.
I couldn't do it. How could people go into work knowing that they're going to
Don't let the tears fool you, because later in the video she says something very, very questionable.
So when I was a kid, obviously someone abused me.
First, you said that somebody could have abused you, obviously. You added the word obviously, which means that you're not sure that that happened. And then you weren't sure who exactly was. And then you said it was a bunch of people. I don't know. It can be just her thinking that somebody abused her. Just the words she uses and make me not believe her story. Maybe I'm victim blaming. I know that a lot of people who are attracted to children have been abused, and a lot of the people who became abusers were abused. But just the words she uses don't make me 100% sure that it actually happened. And it makes me think that she's not sure either. And it makes me think that she's guessing that this happened to her because she's attracted to children.
I assumed that all of my like fragmentation is because of trauma. I know that it's like an accumulation of trauma from multiple different lifetimes and from genetics. I know that it's all of that as well. I was always adamant that someone did something to me and made me the way that I am, and I struggle.
Somebody did something to you and made you the way that you are, but you don't know who did it, you don't know what they did. Maybe I'm reaching.
When I was younger, I tried to convince myself that if anything were to ever happen between me and someone underage, it would be because they approached me about it, and they were very adamant about it, and they seemed to know exactly what they wanted, right? I don't see things that way anymore.
How can somebody else underage, and we're talking about a 5-year-old, because you're attracted to 5-year-olds, how can somebody would be adamant about it and know exactly what they want? Maybe in your head they want, but in their head they don't know what's going on. That's why you're a predator, because you're projecting your feelings onto somebody else. That's why you're dangerous to be around children, because you're projecting your feelings onto them and you think they want it, but they actually don't.
My son has been really creepy with me lately, and I've felt uncomfortable, and I've had to be like, no.
Your child is creepy. Let's see, how old is your kid?
He's 4 now.
You're saying that your 4-year-old child is being very creepy. Your 4-year-old child doesn't know what that is. This is what I mean about the projection. She thinks the 4-year-old child is creepy, but it's actually her that's projecting her feelings onto the child.
For instance, he sometimes like he tries to watch me get dressed or whatever if he catches me.
Because the child sees that your body is not like his, but that doesn't mean the child is sexually attracted to you. A child cannot be creepy with you, especially 4-year-old child. Let's bring Freud here. I can't do this. This is from Freud's stages of development. The child is in the phallic stage, which means that the child develops an attraction to the different gender parent, and it's an unconscious sexual attraction to the opposite sex parent. And what you have to do is ignore the child just because your child wants to see you naked. doesn't mean that they want to have sex with you or they're being creepy. For example, Freud says that this stage that her child is means that the child develops unconscious attraction to the opposite gender parent, which means that this child is in the most vulnerable stage that it can be. And if the mother, because it's a boy, if the mother leans into the desires of the child and actually sexually assaults them, it can lead to really, really serious trauma. And that haunts this child till the end of their life. And what the parent should do in this stage is to ignore the child's desires. And it's not like a creepy, it's something that is unconscious. And that's how the child's sexuality forms later in life. And your child's not creepy. Your child sees that you have a different body than him and it's curious. Okay, the good thing is that at least she said she told the child no, but that's a normal thing that children do. Why? Why do people make children without knowing the basic stuff about children's development? Children are curious. Children are supposed to be curious. That's how they learn about the world. Let's see Piaget. Piaget's theory says that she said her child is 4 years old. Her child is in the pre-operational stage, which means that the child is egocentral, struggling to understand others' perspective. So what the parent should do in this situation is to explain to the child that other people don't like to be touched like that. Like she doesn't want to be touched. But it's not in a creepy way. Your child doesn't know what sex is. It is essential for the child's development to act this way. What do you mean? In this stage of development, it is really important for the parent to explain to the child that everybody is their own person and what the child feels, the other person doesn't feel. It is really important for the parent to explain to the child that everybody is their own person and that everybody has different feelings than the child. Not just tell them no, explain why. And it is normal for children to be curious about other people's bodies, and it is essential for their development for the parent to react accordingly to the stage of development that the child is.
Mentioned my boobs yesterday.
Yes, because children are curious. Because the child sees that your body looks different than his.
He walked up to me and he just like reached up and was about to just fucking double grope me. And I was like, no, I have gropey trauma with my grandfather.
Now it's the grandfather. I don't know. I think this person definitely is in the head, but I don't know from what exactly. But the child's not trying to grope you. That's in your head. The child, by touching and by seeing and by asking and by tasting, which is literally how children act. The child this way learns about the world. That's normal for the child to ask and to want to touch. You find it creepy because you sexualize that, and that shouldn't be sexualized. If you're not ready to have a child, don't have a child. This is why my firm opinion is that abortion should be legal and that not everybody should have a child. This is the reason abortion should be legal, because a person like that cannot be a parent. You sexualize a child's stage of development and you make it all about yourself, when in reality this is not how you're supposed to act. And this is one of the most crucial years of the child, because when you sexualize it, you're going to traumatize the child.
I feel like I'm being traumatized by my son trying to lift up my shirt, and he fucking just crawled up on my bed when I was trying to relax, and he groped the same move that my granddad groped, and it was creepy, and
Then why, before you made a baby, you didn't read a book about babies? Why didn't you inform yourself about having a child? How do I, when I don't have a child, know that? But you don't, because I'm interested in child development. Why did you make a child when you weren't informed how to be a parent? Why didn't you inform yourself about that? You shouldn't have made a child when you weren't ready to take care of it.
But it was the same day. It was the same time. It was within the same time frame, and he tried to giving me raspberries on my belly and stuff. But then, like when he did it, his energy was shifting, and he didn't feel like him anymore, and he felt like someone was controlling him. And then it's like he like started to go lower, and I was like, no, 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 like what are you doing? And then he like crawled up and groped me, and then I freaked out a little bit, and and I was like, I don't want. I'm like, what are you doing? And I realized that I was wrong the whole time. Even if, even if, even if a child would try something with me, I wouldn't feel comfortable with it, and I would. Stop it and push it away. I know.
The child doesn't know what sex is at this point. This is a crucial moment of the child's development. This is normal for a child to do. At least she did something right and didn't rape the child. I guess that's a good thing. Oh my god.
But you know the creepiest part about that time? He crawled up to me and he whispered in my ear, "I'm your sister." And my sister has been I've been getting all of these messages saying that my sister's been using all these all this dark magic or something and trying to twist everything against me and doing these rituals and stuff and trying to put cursed items and stuff in with all of my belongings because it was at the house that she was in.
And now we have entered the loony bin stage of normalizing pedophilia. This is where the video takes a turn and it becomes science fiction or something like that. And this is where we can see this person's actual mental state and how bad it is and how deep in delusions this person is. Straight to Arkham. Straight to Arkham.
Like all of this random crazy shit, right? And the fact that I thought that I felt like he was being controlled and then he whispered, "I'm your sister" to me. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what the actual
I think maybe schizo is more appropriate. I can't put this, but maybe the child didn't say that, or maybe the child just randomly said it. But it's not. It's nothing to do with dark magic, and it's everything to do with your mental state.
That's the opposite kind of child sexual abuse. Now I feel traumatized. But that means that my sister is trying to fucking manipulate things spiritually to, I don't know, to turn me into what she's telling everyone that I already am.
Oh no! What did you say? Your sister knows that you're a pedo, and she's trying to warn people about you. And you made this whole thing in your head that you're a victim, and she's trying to curse you with dark magic. That's definitely a really big delusion, I would say. Okay, I have not. I won't. I will try not to be mean, but that's crazy work.
I don't know. It's gross and I don't like it. Living with the knowledge that I feel that attraction that I sometimes just can't control. And it fucks with my head.
That's why you should go to therapy or turn yourself into the police. Not make TikToks trying to justify pedophilia.
Knowing that I can't act on it and apparently I don't
You're trying to normalize pedophilia, but there are people who have pleasure when they hurt and rape people. Should we normalize that as well? Just because you feel it doesn't mean it's right.
I mean, I don't want to I definitely know I don't want to do with my own children, that's a thing. Because I've been traumatized by the mere notion of it.
If you're traumatized, search for help.
It's really hard to know that that's just what happens in your brain naturally, and people hate you for it, and you can't help it, and you don't even like it. And you know, I just hate all the calls to violence against pedophiles when we don't all fucking do shit. Then again, if it's exclusive.
But you sexualize your child. Even though you didn't rape your child, you sexualized it and projected your feelings onto other children. They don't know what sexual feeling is. They don't like you. You like them and you're making it up in your head. That's why people don't like people like you.
So I get triggered when people talk about hunting down all the fucking pedos and killing them and stuff, and I'm like, do you know how much these people struggle within their own minds with themselves?
I don't think Epstein struggled with his feelings. I think he really indulged in his feelings.
Do you know how much shame there would be? Do you know how much they would have to hide about themselves from everyone just to feel accepted? It's not a path that you choose. And it's not an easy one either. So it kind of breaks my heart knowing that there are other people out there similar to me that can't control that feeling but can control their actions. But they're still hated even though they have top tier self control.
You think you have top tier self control, but you sexualize children. Nice. Very nice of you. You are so good for not abusing children. Wow. You should be praised. Yay. The more I live, the more disappointed I am in people. But I guess that's just life. And when we know about somebody who is like that and who wants to harm somebody, we should speak up and we shouldn't let that happen. That's my take, and I think that's the right take about this. And I think I will make other types of videos as well. It won't be just people like that because I will lose my mind if I make only videos about people with these mental illnesses. And if you learn something today, because I'm trying to make my videos more educational, not just commentary, but commentary with educational combined. I want to help people like me. I hope you are okay. I hope you're safe, and I'll see you in the next video, hopefully. Bye.